Yo, 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 what is up, my fallopian tubers? Cesario from the Barrio, coming back at you with another video for your butt. And today I am making a video response, man, an unexpected one for Blue Jacket 66. There it is. Soak it in. Soak it in. Blue Jacket 66. Go check them out. Go check them out. All right, I'll put a link below after this video if I figure it out how. Why?
Cause Stone Cold said so.
All right, man. So wasn't gonna make one, man, because honest, you know, just come on. I mean, keeping it real. Nobody really likes when you have a giveaway and the winners are people who just don't even really comment on your videos and follow you on a daily basis. You know, you wish you could, the winner could be someone that's loyal, you know, to your channel or whatever, however you want to word it. And so that's the way I feel about Blue Jacket, man. He was giving away a Mickey Mantle autograph. And if you know, my main PC is Mickey Mantle. So, man, I wanted that Mickey Mantle more than anybody else out there, man. I'll fight you for it. All right? Whoever wins, I'll fight you for it. And, but I told him, man, hey, I really want to enter your contest, but I can't get myself to do it because I wouldn't feel right because I don't follow you and I just started following you. I just subscribed to you. And I wouldn't feel right winning. You know, the winner should be someone who's been a fan to you for a while. But he said, no, man, he wanted me to enter it. So, okay, here's my entrance, Blue Jacket 66. One of his first questions that he wanted to know was, what sparked your interest in the hobby? Like, who got you into collecting, all right? I mean, my dad started buying me baseball cards, but as far as, like, who sparked my interest, there's really not a physical person as much as the game itself and the history. You know, I started reading a bunch of books on baseball, and that just brought my love for baseball cards more. And my cousin was the one who actually, like, taught me how to put stuff together. But for the love of the hobby itself, I mean, it's just within me as a hoarder. And the love of baseball put together, you mesh that in, and you got a baseball card collector like Pepino, man. All right? And so he also wanted to know, what other hobbies are you into? All right, so, I mean, I got a lot of the hobbies, so to keep it short, I'm going to give you just two. One is trains, model trains. I'm giving up that hobby. I had dreams about having a little train thing in my house when I ever bought a house, which I really thought I never was going to accomplish, but I just did. And now that kind of washed away, and I'm leaning more now towards buying a pool table. But let me show you the trains that I do have that I had planned on setting up.
Austin 316.
All right, man. So when I was younger, for whatever reason, I got hooked on model trains, you know. So I did have a bunch of model trains, you know, at this scale right here. And basically, I used to have in my garage at my mom's house. Obviously, I was a teenager living on my mom's pad. And I had a pretty nice setup. But one time I had to go away for a year. And check it out. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, baby. Check out these antique little cars. But basically, my mom gave away my train set. I don't think she knew the value because, I mean, the cars that I had before, like, say like a locomotive, back then, I don't know what they go for now, but a good one could be between $100 to $300. And I had a few. And when I came home, they were gone. My mom never threw away my baseball cards, but she did throw away my train set. And I kind of had plans on rebuilding one at my now that I bought a house. But I think I'm Xing those plans. And I'll probably give this train away somehow, somewhere, to somebody. And I'm setting my goals more to getting a pool table. All right? In my little slash room that I have. Once I fix all those leaks. All right? So let's move on to the second hobby. All right, guys. And And another hobby that I have is, I don't consider a hobby, it's just something this really to me is a little bit nostalgic. If you ever watch that broadcast, subscribe to the broadcast. I had an interview with him, and I was telling him about how when it comes to baseball cards, I know a lot of other collectors, when they talk about it, they talk about the nostalgia. And when it comes to baseball cards, I really don't feel a nostalgia with the baseball cards. You know what I mean? But I do feel somewhat of a nostalgia with comic books. All right. So I do have like a comic book collection. I don't consider it a collection because I don't know anything about them. But my nostalgic thing with comic books is that, believe it or not, I almost kind of taught myself to read English with comic books. So when I was younger, every single summer I would go live with my grandma in Mexico. You know, my parents couldn't afford a babysitter and stuff, so I would go live for the summer in Mexico. All right. So in Mexico, every time they go drop me off, they give me $5. All right, and the reason why I say I get nostalgic with the comic books, because when I would go to Mexico, all these comic books like the Mighty Mouse, all right, even the Transformers, man, all right, Submariner, okay, I would get all these comic books in Mexico, 5 cents each. I remember specifically. So those $5 went a long way in Mexico back then. All right. And all these, especially, all right, the only comic book that I don't have, that was the #1 probably comic book that I had, was the Archies. All right. Archies, Mr. Magoo, Mighty Mouse, you know, Scooby-Doo, things like that. And Spider-Man and a couple of Superman. But I had tons and tons of Spider-Man back then, which were bilingual. All right. And I don't know if they're bootleg or if they actually were made in the United States or whatever. But what it'd be is you'd open up the comic book, and what it would be is they'd have it in the bubble of the conversation, be split in half, and the top would be in Spanish and then the bottom would be in English. You know what I mean? So between that and Dr. Seuss coming back to the States every year, I pretty much was able to translate myself, and I taught myself how to read and speak English. And it wasn't until the 3rd grade, man. I mean, it wasn't until the 3rd grade when they finally put me in English class, because I was I was born in Mexico. So when I came to the United States, you know, at 5 years old, I went straight to kindergarten, and I was in a straight Spanish classes. Kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. And it wasn't until the end of 2nd grade when I went, when they set the whole class on a rainy day to go watch a movie in a different class. So a student was getting punished and had to read something or write something. And this was in the 2nd grade. And I was helping them to write it out in English. And the teacher saw me, and she's like, you know how to write English? You know, and I was like, yeah, I know how to read it, you know, because of Dr. Seuss and all these comic books that were bilingual. Not only that, but every movie in Mexico, every movie that I would see in English over there was in Spanish, you know, translated in Spanish, whether it be Knight Rider, you know, whatever it is, you know, Gentle Ben, Flipper, the Dukes of Hazzard, you know, Los Dukes de Casa. Every show in America was over there in Mexico in Spanish. So I learned, you know, on my own to translate and speak English. And check it out, man. This one has a certificate of authenticity. But I don't really collect comic books, but I'm really nostalgic about that, because it always brings back memories of sitting at my grandma's house in Mexico. There was one time when I got one of the Archie's magazines, comic books, and I was all excited about it, and I was going to run across the street to a neighbor's, and they had dug a ditch, you know, in the middle of the street for plumbing or whatever it was. And I was jumping back and forth on the ditch, you know, and I fell in. And all I remember was waking up to my grandma poking me with the stick in the hole, because I guess I fell all the way down to the hole and I knocked myself unconscious. And she was poking me to wake me up. And she woke me up, and I had the comic book still in my hand. You know, it was one of the Archie's ones. So, I mean, it's really been bringing back memories going through these comic books. A lot of the memories I have, you know, just sitting into my grandma's house, you know, just reading all these comic books. So, there you go. That was my response for Blue Jacket. Where's that thing at? Blue Jacket 66. This is probably a long video, boring. I didn't really show anything, no baseball cards. But love the hobby. Keep collecting baseball cards forever, ese. And maybe even model trains. Maybe even comic books. Ciao! Damn, I went over 10 minutes. Ay, caramba!